I was having a conversation with someone about business, and let's just say I heard some things in that conversation that compelled me to start this off. So he asked me a question. He said, so you're at the top position in your company. I said, yes, I'm at the current top position in my company. And he asked me, he said, how many people make it to the top of your company? And I said, I don't know. Not many. And he's like, well, why do you think that is? And I had to pause for a second, because I thought to myself, what is this guy talking about? Like, is that a real question? So I asked him a question. I said, how many people are at the top of your company? He's like, well, no, I was like, at the very top. He's like, well, one. I said, how many employees are at your company? He said, about 5,000. I said, isn't it interesting that you're asking me how many are at the top of my company, and you have one at the top of your company out of 5,000 people? And here's what else is interesting. Would you agree, just for the purpose of this conversation, is the current path that you're on right now are you working to be at the top of your company? Like to be the CEO? He said no. I said, so let me get this straight. You're asking me how many are at the top of my company. You yourself admit there's one person at the top of your company. You also admit that you have no pathway to get to the top of your company. So why are we even talking right now? Because at least in my company, you have the ability to, if you choose to, do the things that you're taught to do, stay the course, work hard. Because look, hey, how you can get to the top of anything without working hard? I mean, I scratched my skull, can't say my hair, I scratched my skull and I scratched my head and I said to myself, how do people think that you can be at the top of anything without the work? How do people think you can make it to be in your industry, whatever you do for a living, the best in that industry without the work? Look, that just seems a little crazy to me, I think. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And when I see people, when people ask me these kinds of questions, I think to myself that they're just not being mature in their understanding of how life works. Because how life works is very simple. If you want to live the best life, you have to do above and beyond what is called of the masses of people. It's that simple. If you want your kids to go to the best school, you got to generate a certain kind of income. And the kind of income that you're going to generate is going to require for you to work harder than most. And when you work harder than most, you'll probably have a lot more than most. But to work hard into something that you don't even have the chance to get to the top. Like, I remember my former company in the pharmaceutical industry. There was no path for me to be CEO. Do you understand? Like, the only option for me to be the CEO of that company would have been that on the same day, everyone in the company passed away on the exact same day. And they said, okay, James, there's no one left. You're the guy. That'd be it. That'd be it. And even then, they'd find someone outside to come and run the whole thing. So there was no pathway. So what I'm saying to all of you that are watching this is, if you want to get to a different level, at least for the love of God, try and do something where you can get to a different level through your own performance rather than someone else's political feelings about you, rather than someone saying you're too black, you're too white, you're too Christian, you're too Jewish, you're too Muslim, you're too, whatever your tutu is, you don't want to be a part of somebody else's tutu. You don't want somebody else to look at you and judge you and assess it says you're worth $40,000 a year, or no, you're worth $51,000. No, you're not even worth $31,000. Why would we choose to let somebody else assess us and then put a financial stamp on what we're capable of? It doesn't make sense to me. I did it. I'll be honest with you. I did it. That was my career. But then I found a better way. And when you find a better way, shouldn't you opt for a better way? You know, I meet people all the time that come and they see my business and they hear what I do, but they'd say things to me like, this looks good, but I don't know if I could do that. Or, I don't know if I want to do that. Or, I'm comfortable. What? Don't be comfortable. I'm blessed. I'm blessed that I have great mentors. I'm blessed that I am part of a great company. I'm blessed. I recognize that I'm blessed. And I'm driving right now to do a meeting for some other people to hopefully bless them. Because I'm going to give them the opportunity to, if they choose to be a part of what it is that I do. But they don't have to. They can keep doing whatever they're doing. That's totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. But at least they got the option. At least somebody gave them a phone call. At least somebody invited them to come see it. Doesn't mean they'll do it. Doesn't mean it. I'm driving. Doesn't mean they'll do it. I'm driving an hour and a half. Doesn't mean they'll do it. I'm driving an hour and a half to go and meet some people. I have no idea what they'll do. But I drive an hour and a half because someone else drove to meet me, to show me what I do, and they changed my life forever. So now that I'm where I am, I can look back and recognize the impact that was made on me by somebody else who's willing to get in their car and drive and show this business to me and change my life. But I thank God more than anything else, I was willing to listen. You see, because my question was, do you deserve to need? You know, if a person needs money, the question isn't why do they need money? The question is, do they deserve to need money? And this is the controversial question that some people are not going to like, but whatever. It's my Facebook Live. Maybe it's Facebook. I don't even know if it's still Facebook Live right now. Who knows? Because I believe some people put themselves in situations where they deserve to need. And then when they have an opportunity to break the cycle of need, they won't take it, which means they deserve to need. They deserve to be in a space of need. They deserve to be in a space of need. That's truth. If the opportunity to come along to have you not need shows up, but then you choose to not take advantage of the opportunity and you stay in need, maybe you deserve to need. Maybe the things you don't have, you deserve not to have. I don't know. What do you think? Some will say, well, you know, the economy got me. Well, maybe. Maybe not. Some would say, well, I don't think it's fair that XYZ. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. What do you think? Because in the same economy, somebody else got rich. In the same economy, somebody else changed their lives. No matter who's in the White House, somebody was able to impact their personal house. I don't know. What do you think? I just think that maybe it's time that we start to grow up and ask ourselves a question. If a person's in need, do they deserve to need? And if they do deserve to need, an incredible thing would be to be mature enough to say, you know what? I'm in this situation because I put myself in this situation, and now I want to get out of this situation. That's a very mature thing to do. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone's mature enough to say that, because blame is so much easier than responsibility. I remember when my credit looked like it'd been through the Third World War. I remember being mad at the bank because the bank wouldn't give me a loan. And I remember thinking to myself, well, I'm a good person, doggone it, the bank should give me some money. But yet my credit looked like it'd been through a war. And I go to the bank and I say to the banker, and the banker looks at me and says, I'm not giving you a loan. And I'm making my case because I'm a good person. I graduated from a great university and blah, 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 blah. And all that other stuff. And I remember being mad at the bank for having bad credit, but I was never mad at myself for spending on credit cards but never paying it back on time. Somehow, I never figured out that part, that my spending ruined my credit and it wasn't the bank's responsibility to give money to someone who'd already shown an inability to be responsible with the little credit line he had. Do you deserve to need? And if you do deserve to need, are you mature enough to admit it? And if you are mature enough to admit it, are you responsible enough to change it? And if you're not responsible enough to change it, then you just stay in need. It's not a bad thing. The world will always need the needy. Always. Question is, do you want to be a part of them? I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Because even though I was in need, I finally woke up and realized I deserved at that time to be in need that I was in. I had not made the right choices. I had not been around the right people, doing the right things. Hopefully today you make a choice that if you realize that you deserve to need, that you shift out of that and you go change your associations and change your thinking. If you're not involved in the business I'm in, I have people not involved in my business all the time. They hit me up on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, and that's cool. I'm always happy to connect with people. If that's you, you want to connect up, you're not involved in what I do, but you just want to just connect, I'm always happy to connect. Hit me up, inbox me. Love to meet you. Love to meet new people who are going somewhere. But please, please, don't inbox with a bunch of drama and a bunch of storytelling. Let's look at where you are and figure out how you can get to where you want to be. God bless.